You might be wondering why I chose to open the video in such a way, but in case you missed that, let me just show you another example of that same thing happening, and then I'll talk to you about what you're seeing and how this comes into play and why I consider it to be very important for you guys to be aware of. And if you're wondering what the name of this stealth release is, because there was not much marketing to speak of when it comes to this game, well, it's called 4Kings Casino and Slots. It's a free-to-play game. It's free to download. Just wanted to quickly note that I am in a bingo parlor right now because they announced a free bingo match where it's not going to cost any chips. I have tried to participate in this free thing 4 different times, and all 4 occasions it ended up like this. The game just would not start. A bunch of people are just hanging around waiting for it to start. But for some reason, anytime it was a buy-in type of thing, I had absolutely no problem playing bingo. Just the free ones for some reason. So back to what I was saying, when it comes to video games, we don't have many protections as consumers to begin with. But when it comes to alpha builds, beta builds, well, let's just say we have pretty much none. Okay, there's a lot of loopholes legally for these developers. I'm not going to get into that whole thing right now, but this is indeed an alpha build. Here's the problem. So you have an alpha build that certain laws do not adhere to. It doesn't play by the same rules. I'm not talking about just this particular game. I'm talking alphas in general. But speaking of this particular game, it's selling you microtransactions. It's selling you chips that you buy with real money. But here's the problem that I have. As you can see at the beginning of the video, sitting down playing Keno, video poker, slots, whatever, and I have several examples of this happening recorded, where the game would just crash out of nowhere. I would wager a bet, crash, try to get back into the game, and when I do, I come to realize that those chips are fucking gone for good. Okay, I have to chalk it up as a loss. But of course, with a situation like this, there are going to be a couple of different perspectives. One from a person that has no interest in investing real world money. A crash like that happens, it sucks, but they're going to be able to live with it. And then you have people with a different perspective that plan on engaging with this microtransaction system, getting some chips with real world money, and that happening to them, well, it's going to suck. It's going to suck tremendously. And I have a lot of footage of this happening. So I'm just warning you guys and gals to be careful. That's all. Okay, don't hate on me. I'm not hating on this thing altogether. I do like certain aspects of it, which I will talk about in just a moment. I'm just giving you a warning. And just wanted to note that the only time the game has crashed like that is when I was actually engaged in some sort of activity when it comes to slots, gambling. Okay, when I'm roaming around or just hang out in the nightclub, I'll show you some footage of that in just a moment. Never ever did I have any kind of crash. Actually, one time it did. It said that I was kicked out due to inactivity. Other than that, no issues whatsoever. And look, I get it. There's a lot of people out there looking to just latch on to anything that resembles PlayStation Home because they loved it that much and they miss it that much. I'm one of those people. I adored PlayStation Home. Sure, it had its shortcomings, but it had a certain charm, a certain thing to it, and I loved engaging with it. This is certainly not the next PlayStation Home. Far from it. This is nothing more than a gambling simulator, a gambling den. It's systematically designed to get in your pockets, to get you hooked. And to you young folks out there, just giving you a warning. It can get very addictive. Next thing you know, you're rifling through tons of PSN cards. I don't know. This reminds me a lot of the casino that was in Test Drive Unlimited 2. If you're unfamiliar with that game, I would certainly give it a Google, YouTube it, more importantly, play it, because I believe that that game was just incredible. It had a lot of things going on. You could race, you could go shopping, you could buy property, and you could take a plane to a casino and gamble. Only difference between the two casinos, I think that not only did that seem more realistic when it comes to the slot machines and things of that nature, the odds were a lot better in that casino. Let's just put it that way. I used to play that game so much with my cousin. Yeah, those were the good. Before I get into the nitty gritty, let me just say that there are quite a few people that see this as the second coming of PlayStation Home. Therefore, if they come across this video, they're probably not going to like what I have to say and leave comments like, hey dude, you have no right to criticize this game, it's not finished yet, and all those other things. Guess what? Once they start to sell you things, sell us things, I should say, I have the official right to criticize it. But here's my thing with this gambling simulator. If it's part of a bigger picture, in other words, if this is just a small piece of the puzzle where there's going to be a bigger experience, for example, say they do add a PlayStation Home-esque type of experience where there's a lot of other activities and things and hubs and, you know, all that other good stuff, well, I can kind of get on board. But the way I see it is that they're using something that appears to be PlayStation Home in order to grab your attention. And then the next thing they're hoping to do, in my opinion, is grab your wallet, okay? They want you to go to those machines, and they want you to dump money into it. And they want you to feel like that the only way to continue to be a part of this experience in the optimal way is to be able to have funds to gamble and things of that nature. So, I just don't like it as it stands, okay? But I'm hoping that it actually turns into something much bigger, much better, and that's all I got to say. I love you all. Be safe. Till next time. Take it easy.